Yeah. In the last class, we've been seeing about migration of BW from relational database to HANA database. It is what we consider as lift and shift. You're just lifting the data from one database and transferring it to another database. You're not converting it, okay? And we have seen some multiple options of installing new system and then our in-place migrations with the DMO. And then we've seen some considerations. We need to have some system installed, and it could be a standard or distributed systems, or it should be a dual stack split where Java stack and a web stack should be in different application server. And in it, if you have BW on HANA, it should be Unicode compatible. And the role-based authorizations are not supported. It has to go with analysis authorizations. And then once it is migrated, we also should have to consider about converting cubes to unoptimized cubes, converting multi-cloud or info sets to what? Composite providers. And even the cube, if you have cubes with BW accelerator, will be deactive because once HANA comes in, there's no more use of BW accelerator, it becomes inactive, and you have to activate them back and reload the data from the underlying DSO. So we need to perform some couple of housekeeping activities, and then we have set a node for checking whether the BW is ready for the BW system is ready for the migration. So we have some node for checking it, or all the ABAP customizations required can be checked from this ZBW ABAP analyzer from this node. What sizing we can get to this node, or discontinued features of BigQuery can be understood from these nodes. And then for sizing, I told we basically use this program, which actually gives you that, and based on that and it has a node. If you don't have this program, you can implement this node. Yeah? And they use this formula, they get out to the company. Now let us assume that we have done the sizing, and we have the new, and we already done the checking of the BW system for the ready for migration. So we have implemented all the nodes what has been required. We have identified what is the customizations required in all the above programs, and we identified what are the changes we need to carry out in the BigQuery so that it does work fine even after migrations. And then now the HANA system is already installed. So what we do is, so before they start migration, you can hear my voice now, right? Hello? So we're going to. So what we do is, before we start the actual migration process, we would do certain pre-migration or pre-upgrade, because it will be upgrade and migration together, because only from BW 7.3 SP5 it's supposed to have HANA as a backend. So if you're running BW on 7.0, you have to upgrade your BW version as well as migrate your database. Both will go together. So before the actual process of upgrade and migration takes place, we need to do some pre-migration, pre-upgrade activities, and same way we'll have to carry out some post and post-upgrade and post-migration activities. Okay, we'll discuss on this, but there are some couple of points which are not listed here also, but I'll discuss that. Actually, first thing is they run this program SMIGR underscore create underscore DDL. We don't do this. This will be done by the basis. When they run this program, what it does is, based on the database of the present, let's say you have MS SQL database, with all the tables what it has got, what is DDL? Data definition language tables. For all those tables, it creates an export SQL. So for example, I have 10 tables. It formulates 10 create table statements, so that when the same SQL statement is executed into HANA, the tables are created in the HANA database. So when you run this program, based on the definition of the existing database of my BW, it creates all DDL statements for all those views, tables, everything. And these statements will be carried out and executed in HANA again, so which creates the database first. That's that. You remember about export and import? I showed you. Even in HANA, we can export a schema and then import. When you're exporting, what is happening? Is it exporting a SQL statements, the DDL statements, and the data to be imported? That's how it formulates all the DDL statements. Then we do a lot of housekeeping activities and testing before even migrating it. What we do is, Okay, housekeeping act we'll discuss on this, but before housekeeping act is what we do as a BW consultant. Let's say we have implemented a lot of applications in BW. Like so you implement SD module, PP, finance, all this. For each application, you will consider some 10 or 15 depending on how accurate you want to be. Generally, they take some 10 reports for each application. In SD, in BW, sales relevant, they take some 10 reports, 10, finance 10 reports. They take some 10 reports for each application. And then they collect two informations on each of this report. One is they give certain selections and run the report and take the snapshot of those reports. For all these reports, they run the reports with certain selections and take the snapshot, report output betkuntada. If they run an analyzer, they can save those Excel files. And for all those reports, they collect the statistics data. Because I would like to know what was the runtime of those queries. Two things. You take certain reports output and take the snapshot for certain selections of the report, but you'll not go very detailed. You try to, let's say, you have a report on the company code wise. Instead of going very detailed level, I'll take a report snapshot drilling down on company code. Maximum, let's say I've got 10 company codes. I'll get a report with what? 10 rows. So aggregated values. So I can compare this report. So I take the report snapshots and the statistics of those reports also. And you can run that on an analyzer and keep those Excel snapshot for all those reports, have it ready, so that these report snapshots can be leveraged to compare with the queries after it's been migrated, so that we can do two things you can achieve it. One is comparison of performance, and data validations also can be done with this. Clear on this? That is one aspect which needs to be carried out as part of pre. And then next is I told you our major point of focus will be to shrink your database. Means we need to reduce the size of the present database. Now, logically, if you see about when you say about reduce, you want to reduce the size of the database, you would delete a lot of unwanted tables like PSA tables to be cleaned out, change log tables, yes, sir, the log tables or job log tables, or let's say your statistics tables. There will be some RS, there are some standard tables which will really occupy a lot of space. Even those can be cleaned out if it's not necessary. That is what you have to focus on, cleaning up the space. And one more point, I also told you there's some cube or a DSO which has got some 10 years or 15 years of data which is really used, but you don't want to store in the primary database. You want to push it into, you'll have certain archiving strategy. You will say, I'll have my cube only with current 3 years or 4 years of data, and the rest all data I'll push into NLS, which will be a secondary database, which could be Sybase IQ or DB2, whatever it is. So even you'll have to configure NLS so that not frequently used, and not subject to change. This is very important because, for example, I have a record in a DSO, and if this record is subject to change, the record comes in and it goes and overwrites. But when it is overwriting, what you've done is you've taken this record to NLS. Now, when this record comes in, it treats this as a new record. So you won't have a difference in the values. So the data what is not frequently used and not subject to change, you push that into NLS. You'll have certain archiving strategy. You'll say less than 5 years, less than 2 years, less than whatever it is, and then you push the data into NLS. That is also one kind of activity to reduce your size of your database. Okay. And as you rightly said, for example, if there are any cube, because once we going to be on HANA, the performance of reports on cube or DSO are going to be same. Suppose if I have configured cube on top of DSO just for aggregating it, just for aggregating the data, those cubes can be eliminated, so that I'll no more use those cubes and start replacing the cube with what DSOs in all the multi-plots wherever it is finished. They can do even that kind of changes, and converting the objects from 3.x to 7 flow will also be performed. You can do it after migration or before, anyway it's fine, but preferably we'll try to do before. That's the better one. But if you're on 7.0, I would prefer it on after, because when you go to 7.4, you can migrate the complete flow at a stretch, because you'll have flexibilities of RS migrate, which allows you to migrate complete data flows also. That also you can think about as post migration also. Okay. Because if you don't convert, you're not reducing any size, any space, any sizing area. Okay. Clear on this? Um, Apart from this, you can also do a lot of migration, a lot of housekeeping activities. Generally, what I told you, for most of the housekeeping activities for pre-migration, post-migration, pre-upgrade, post-upgrade, SAP has given certain standard task list, which can be executed automatically. You don't have to run one by one. So what you can do is you can use this T code STC01. You can use this T code STC01 and use the task list and schedule that. Now, what I'll do, I go to this. When you go to STC01, it's an important T code, and when you say F4, you find certain task list. See, you see some task list saying BW after migration, after upgrade, before migration, before upgrade, and there are certain specific housekeeping activities also. So you can just select this task list and say view. So you'll have repairing of indexes, repairing of PSA partitions, reorganizing the bookmarks. These all are your certain task lists for housekeeping activities. What I can just say execute and it starts running all this task one by one. You don't have to do manually. If we just say execute, it starts running all this tasks one by one. And you just have to schedule that as a job. Foreground loop code, you should start scheduling that as a job, and when you see this green, it is executed successfully. And these are not relevant, so it is straight away gone into this step. It just keeps running all the steps one by one. Okay. I will run the task list for housekeeping. Similar way, I'll have task list for before migration and what before upgrade. All this task list. So if you go to before upgrade, there might be some tasks which are overlapping. For example, if you see cube index repair or like overlapping, that's fine. This will be task list for upgrade, and then if you say for before migration, you'll have certain task list for. See, pretty much there are some overlapping steps. It's fine. You can execute them again and again. All these steps are to suppose in a new system. When you go in, when you say F4, when you search for these task lists, you may not find them, housekeeping or migration upgrade. Then what to do? You have to implement this note. What is this note? 1829728. When you implement this note, that is, you'll get those housekeeping task lists. That is actually a certain program. If you get in, if you open this note, and you go to STC01, but you're not finding that housekeeping task list and kanapadledu. You don't find the task, then you have to implement this note to get the task list. Mm. You just read through that note, but yeah, if you go in, you see it'll ask you whether it is 7.3 or 7.0, 7.4. You'll have a PDF guide. Just go through that guide and you download this text. .txt will have that program. For example, if it is 7.0, no? This will have certain program here. I just have to get this program out. Then once this program is implemented, you'll start getting the task list. Then చెప్పాలంటే correct. నాకు అక్కడ కనిపిస్తుందంటే ఆటోమేటిక్ there is a report with this name కదా. Means I should, if I am seeing the task list, I should have already implemented that program. Yes. Mm. There will be a note bus. So you just have to implement this. Where version there is pre. See, sorry. This pre, this post. Okay. What post ki, what pre rendered kuntu. This note pair 18273. But you can implement that program and you get the task list actually. Yeah? And same way for pre-upgrade and post-upgrade migrations, you'll have one more note. If you don't find the task list, you have to implement these notes, okay, to get those task lists. And depending on the version, just pick the text.txt file and then you will have some note. This will give you the task list for pre-upgrade, post-upgrade, pre-upgrade, pre-migration and post-migration. All the task lists will come. So when you implement these two notes, you get those task lists. Okay. Then one more very important point. Okay, what do you do? You go to the STC01. You'll execute the task list for housekeeping as well as what? Pre-upgrade and pre-migration. All those three task lists set, you will execute it. But what SAP has done is, so there will be a lot of activities which you need to carry out as part of migration, whether it is pre or post. So what, and like one activity is about running the steps, right? About all the housekeeping task lists. What SAP wanted is they didn't want you to go to different T codes, do different things. They want to have one centralized T code from where you can execute all those steps, whether it is migration or migrating to 7.x flow, whatever it is, all the steps. Yeah? So what they've done is they've given certain note 1909. This is chala important note 1909597, which is called as migration cockpit. So this will give you one defined program from where it calls STC01 or all those tasks from where you can do all the migration relevant stuff, whether it's pre or post. Okay. This is major note 1909597 migration cockpit and a note on this. This is nothing but it's a program. When you deploy this program, it is going to give you a centralized program from where you can call everything. And if STC0, you have a T code STC, from there I can call that also. It's all important note. You just read through this PDF, and this PDF will tell you how to run this, use this tool. If you just చాలా మంచి నోట్ ఇది ఇట్లా స్క్రీన్ ఎలా ఉంటుంది ఈచ్ వన్ ఇస్ ఫర్ డిఫరెంట్ థింగ్స్ అండ్ అడుగు చెప్తుంది దిస్ ఇస్ అ నోట్ వాట్ యూ టు ఇంప్లిమెంట్ అండ్ దిస్ ఇస్ ఫర్ మైగ్రేషన్ కాక్పిట్ అండ్ ఓన్లీ థింగ్ ఇస్ this note will give you a program. Yeah, this zip will have that program which it will have a text file and you copy the program. After the program is copied, it says at line number 21 and 22 you should change this. You should change the proxy.example.com with what? With your host name, and with the port you have to change your numbers, okay, and activate the program. Line number 21 to 22 marchali, and then for SAP BW HANA, you remember this 1729988. This will be a composite note for all those what we discussed. This is one centralized note. You remember this checklist? Yeah. Then you have a BW sizing tool. Yeah. And then about this is about post copy automation. We don't worry on this. Then this is AS. I'll discuss on this note. I'll come to that. AS application specific upgrade. When you do an upgrade of application, there will be some steps again. There will be some certain task list. What SAP does is SAP gives you task list as an XML file. If you import that XML file, I'll tell you that. And there's what is BW transformation finder about BW transformations. What is that? What needs to be done in each? There's a specific note for it. అంటే ఈ అన్ని నోట్లు ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేస్తేనే ఆ ప్రోగ్రామ్ మెయిన్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ వర్క్ అవుతుంది యాక్చువల్లీ. And what is ZBW ABAP only? Remember this, analyzing your ABAP code, SQL monitor, then this note. Once you implement all, and when I click these buttons, it is going to jump to some programs which needs those nodes. That's the point. Yeah. You just go through and then check this out. Yeah. And then you can take this zip file and so you'll have this program. If you just by heavy count and line number 21 and 22, you have to change your host name and the port as per the system. Okay, and this is the program ZBW HANA migration underscore cockpit. That's your program. Then already is not. So I already copied that program, and at line number I've just given my host name and my port was okay. And when I run this program, and the program just you get to see this. This is one centralized tool where you can handle most of your migration activities. This is a okay. This is see if you remember, this is about checking checklist tools. You remember this? What was this program about? Yesterday I showed you this. What was it? Checking the BW system readiness for migration. You remember? We could execute that separately, or if I implement this complete cockpit, there's a button called checklist tool. If you click, it is automatically get into a program which you remember the note that it checking the readiness of the BW system for HANA migration, analyzing and repairing BW objects. If there's any planning function, I can execute the planning function and check in. Okay, sizing tool. I can go to sizing tool, configuring NLS. Yeah. Housekeeping act. Now, normally if I need to do housekeeping act, I go to STC01 and choose a task. Click just ultimately. It is going to STC01 and getting to that. So it's like one centralized cockpit for all. See, deleting OLAP statistics, application log deletion, IDOC, deleting old IDOC archives, list of large tables. All those housekeeping activities can be performed from this particular tab here. And you'll have tab relevant to migrate. I'll discuss on this ASU. Even that last certain task list which we need to execute as part of application specific upgrade. It's the warehouse management, converting data flows from 3.x. You know how to convert it. We can go to RS migrate and convert. ఇక్కడ నుంచి కూడా కన్వర్ట్ చేయొచ్చు అంటే దిస్ వన్స్ వేర్ ఇస్ ఇట్ గోయింగ్ ఏంటి కూడా ఇది అల్టిమేట్ అంటే ఒక స్క్రీన్ నుంచి అన్ని ఇస్తున్నాడు ఆప్షన్స్ migrating from 3 and then transformations potentially identifying transformations which will have problem, activating selection of BW objects repair if there's an inactive objects you're repairing them. The same PEX relevant query relevance I can migrate 3.x web reports to 7 BEX query migrations, converting 3.x to 7 workbooks and the options here. And security, what I told you about role-based authorizations are not supported into HANA. We need to migrate from role-based authorizations to enhanced authorizations. Our conversion it's like one screen where you can do trigger everything. Next, optimizations. You remember optimizations? We need to find out the ABAP code which needs to be done. This when I click this, it is actually getting into. You remember this screen? What is it? ZBW ABAP analyzer program exactly. ABAP test cockpit, code inspector, then SQL checking, open SQL checking out. About documentation ఉంటుంది. You can just click documentation and read. Any communities, BW HANA, just documentation కి వెళ్ళిపోవచ్చు. This is like one. So you can either go to ST0 directly or from the migration cockpit, you can perform the housekeeping activities from this tab. Migrate, migrate, post migrate ఉండాలి. చూడు ఇది housekeeping activities అన్న. Apart from housekeeping activities, I told you should perform pre-upgrade and pre-migration. If you go to migrate, you get task list అని ఉంటుంది. Set up task list for automated execution during upgrade or migration. If you click this task manager కి వెళ్తే ఈ బిడులు కొడితే దీనికి అన్ని కనిపిస్తుంది. నీకు బిఫోర్ కావాలన్నా ఆఫ్టర్ కావాలన్నా you can just select this. Ultimately it is getting to same. Housekeeping activities task list, migrate సంబంధించిన task list. Apart from this housekeeping and what migration, I told you there's something what is AS unit application specific upgrade activities అని కొన్ని ఉంటాయి. అదేంటంటే let's look at this. In post copy, don't worry in this. Application prepare. I told you. What is this next one? Is application specific upgrade activities. And దీనికి ఏంటంటే is quite simple. You see a note. What is this? One number ఉంది కదా. You just get into this note, and when you go into this note will give you some .xml file. When you go to this note, it does give you .xml. When you get down, see you just take what is it you want to go 7.4 DMO or something. Yeah, DMO option. I want going with what DMO migration. Just so when I unzip this will basically give me what is this here? .xml file. So when I import this XML file into my BW system, it gives formulates at a task list. I can just copy this and take it to my you'll have a T code called /ASU/start. Slash in the middle. Okay, you get into this T code /ASU/start. You can do it. So what is it button? Import new ASU content definition. Actually, in the XML file, what SAP is given, he has formulated all the coding relevant for the automatic task list for this application. Just say import. File per import now. ASU. Select this and not newer than already. Okay, and already installed this now. That's fine. Okay. Yeah, implement. Sorry, and already imported. So well, you imported the last none. Let's double click on this. What do you say? Then what? Jump to task list if it's already there, or create new task list. Yes, and jump to task list. And this will show me certain task list what is available. About some checking some nodes which is required before upgrade, activating infobics, checking consistency, RSZ tables, checking master data inconsistency, and everything is some relevant. It gives you details on this node. And you want to start executing these nodes, then you'll say what start fully automatic preparation activities. And nothing but it has to start these activities. And as part of ASU also, you'll have certain activities again, which can again overlap with those also, but you still perform this also. So next is you perform this ASU tools, and there are certain nodes which we at a ముందు ప్రాజెక్ట్ చేసినప్పుడు కొన్ని నోట్ ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేసిన నంబర్స్ అంత ఎవడు అడగలేదు, బట్ జస్ట్ హ్యావ్ ఇట్ లైక్ Then they also use T code called Unicode prep, because I told you when you have BW or HANA, all BW must be Unicode compatible. With the DM option itself, you do upgrade, migration, as well as what? Unicode conversion. So they use a T code called SPUMG for all the Unicode relevant settings. Hmm. So once and then see, majorly it is housekeeping, pre-upgrade, pre-migration task list, and taking the report snapshots and holding the present performance of the statistics of the queries, and you keep it ready. Okay, boss. And then you start migrating. Then they act after all this task list, they start the actual migration process. ఏందుంటుంది, they'll use that software, some మన software ఉంటుంది, they double click, they open that up, అదన్నీ it's like sequence of dialog box అని అడుగుతుంది. You want to migrate to which version, to what is the IP, you want to migrate database, what is the IP address of the database, HANA database, and what is the system ID, host name అని అడుగుతుంది. నెక్స్ట్ కొట్టుకుంటూ వెళ్తుంటే actual migration is done. General actual migration goes on for around 24 hours or 36 hours, 40 hours range లో వెళ్తాం, depending on the size. That's all majorly on the basis, but they use that to ఏం లేదు చిన్న, they use that software some with the DM option, they run that out. I'll show you that. ఇది డౌన్లోడ్ ఉంటుంది, అంటే there is ఇక్కడ స్క్రీన్ షాట్ లో చూడు, do you want to migrate your system to another database type, ఏమంటాం, ఎస్ అని, వాట్ ఇస్ ఏమి హనా, ఇక్కడ మైగ్రేషన్ కి అది ఉంది కాబట్టి ఐఎమ్ నాట్ ఏబుల్ టు షో యూ ప్రాక్టికల్. అండ్ ఒరిజినల్ లైసెన్స్ ఉంటేనే చేయొచ్చు, ఫేక్ మనం అమర్పేట్లు చేయలేము, అది ప్రాబ్లం. యాజ్ వెల్ యూ సే దిస్, ఇట్ లాస్ట్ కి దట్ మైగ్రేషన్ కీ అది లేదు కాబట్టి వీ కెనాట్ డూ, అదర్వైజ్ ఇట్స్ స్ట్రైట్ ఫార్వర్డ్. నెక్స్ట్ యూ సే స్టాండర్డ్ సిస్టమ్ ఆర్ డిస్ట్రిబ్యూటెడ్ సిస్టమ్, యూ సే స్టాండర్డ్, అండ్ దెన్ ఓకే. Then you will give the host name of your HANA server, then system SID అన్ని ఇచ్చి కొడతాం అంతే. కొడితే just say next how many bookmarks you want, నెక్స్ట్ కొడుతూ పోతే నెక్స్ట్ అంతే, ఇట్కి స్టార్ట్స్ అంత అయిపోయినాక ఏముంటుంది, కంప్లీట్ అంటుంది, అంతే, నువ్వు చేసేది ఏం లేదు. ఆఫ్టర్ మైగ్రేషన్ స్టెప్స్ ఇట్ లాస్ట్, యూ ఆల్సో వాంట్ టు మైగ్రేట్ అంటే ఎస్ డేటాబేస్ అంటాం, ఏ డేటా HANA అంటే HANA డీటెయిల్స్ అన్ని ఇస్తే కొడితే the database is migrated. It's all automated, because the focus is HANA is SAP system, so it's given lots of perfect tool which can easily migrate it run. Migration complex చేసి ఎవడు పడదు అన్నట్టు, అందుకు వాడదు, వాడికి ఆ డిమాండ్ పెరగాలంటే మైగ్రేషన్ కూడా సింప్లిఫైడ్ చేయాలని వన్ ఫోకస్, అది. ఓకే బాస్. That's by running the steps like this, he does all the actual migration part of us. Then once the migration is done, then we'll have to carry out what? Post migration and post upgrade activities. Okay. First, before we carry out all the testing part, we do this part. Now, again, when you go to STC01, you have to execute the task list, which is for what? After upgrade, after migration. You've seen that? I can go to STC01 or after upgrade and what? After migration. Okay. See, even if before migration already configured NLS archiving, it will still it will have the same connection. It will still continue with the new system also. Check the HANA database with the DBA cockpit. Generally, what you do is You install HANA Studio and then you get into administration to see that, right? You get into this and then you select this, then you go to administration. You see the host name, even from let's say this BW with HANA, I can go to take a DBA cockpit to see ante once it is migrated, do you need to have the BW connected to the primary database? Hmm. Now when I go to DBA cockpit, you see this database connection. What is the DB user here? ఇక్కడ చూడొచ్చు మొత్తం అసలు ఎంతకి ప్రైమరీ డేటాబేస్ కనెక్షన్ డిఫాల్ట్ అండ్ సిస్టమ్ డేట్ వాట్ ఇస్ స్కీమా హియర్ SAP BW 1 host is Cubex SP9 connect అవుతుంది. So this is the actual details you can get to see. చాలా చూడవచ్చు అంటే ఇక్కడ సిస్టమ్ కాన్ఫిగరేషన్స్కి వెళ్తే system information, large tables of the configuration, servers ekkada చూడొచ్చు configuration course. How many and from DBA cockpit you can observe any host. You don't do anything here. It's only about checking whether my connection between BW and the primary database HANA is all fine or not. You can check the services, all the servers which has been running on, and we can see the volume of data, how much has been occupied in which database. ఏ సర్వర్లో ఎంత డేటాబేస్ ఎంత డేటా ఆక్యుపైందో చూడొచ్చు బ్యాకప్ అవన్నీ మనకు అవసరం బట్ you can also open SQLator from here and run your SQL statements also. If you don't have, because after immediately if you don't have the studio, you can also you can just run some query and see whether query is working fine. Just checking whether the connection between my BW and HANA is all fine and the configuration is fine. And the green line do some of that. Yeah? Next, this one, repair inconsistency PS. This is chala important point. Recently, I had discussed with one of my friend who has done the migration. What a problem was. See, and one more thing was, as part of pre-migration or pre-upgrade, do we unschedule all the process change? Because normal daily you'll have processes which are running, which will be loading the database. During upgrade, you'll be stopping all the data loadings. When you say you're stopping the data load, means what? All the processes will be removed from schedule. అది కామన్, అది ఓకే కదా స్టెప్, అది నార్మల్ అప్గ్రేడ్ స్టెప్. నువ్వు ప్రాసెస్ అన్నింటినీ రన్ చేయకుండా ఆపేసింటే ఎప్పుడు మైగ్రేషన్ కంటే ముందు మైగ్రేషన్ అయిపోయినాక మళ్ళీ స్టార్ట్ చేస్తాం. ఓకేనా? సో చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్ పాయింట్. దిస్ ఇస్ వాట్ యూ కెన్ రైజ్ ఇట్ ఇస్ అన్ ఇష్యూ వాట్ యూ హ్యాడ్. Focus bus. Let's say you have a lot of extractors of ECC which is already connected to BW and everything was running up and running daily, process running. So you wanted to go, so tomorrow you want to start the migration, you have scheduled a downtime in BW. So when the downtime is scheduled, what is that? You want to stop, server is going to be down, right? So you want to stop all the processes. But before I stop the process, very important point is, do we have delta queue in ECC? You'll have extractor queue, you'll have data. So you need to clean those queues before you stop. So what I would do is, I would stop, what they have done is, they have stopped, removed all the processes from the schedule, and they scheduled downtime in ECC also, and they run V3 job. So all the data from extractor queue is collected to what? Delta queue. Now no more records in extractor queue, it's blank, and V3 job is also stopped, okay, removed from schedule. Then now I've got data in delta queue. What they have done is, they run info, when you run info package delta manually, then what happens? Data from delta queue is brought into what? PSA. But you still have the delta queue entries in the repeat delta. To clean that also, they run delta once more, which will bring 0 from 0. I know for each data source, they run delta twice. Once to bring delta records, once to clean repeat delta, clean the repeat delta also, they run another delta. So it brings 0 from 0, but the delta queue is cleaned out. Idu okay na? What they've done is, they just loaded those new delta records only till PSA, and they went for migration. They didn't want to waste time in loading to the next level targets and keep it ready, and then they went for migration. But so where is all my data now? All the new delta is in PSA, and they went for migration. After migration, when they're trying to load, they're not able to load. After migration, when they're trying to load data from this PSA to the next level targets, they're not able to load this. Because after it is migrated, I'll show you. What do I get? Double 0 0 0 1 1 2. $692. The end 7.4. Actually, when you migrate from 7. Old version to this one, what they had is there's some new column which there's some change in this table structure. Because of this, the delta request what they already collected that into PSA, they could not process it next level targets. That is a problem they had. The PSA table gets changed after your migrations, and so the old request which they already collected that into PSA, they could not load it to the next level target. They had that issue. Okay. So to recorrect all the PSA tables, if there's any inconsistency, we run this program rsdu underscore PSA underscore part number underscore check those. So we use this program to correct all the inconsistencies in the PSA. Mottam PSA tables ఏదైతే inconsistency ఉందో దాని program to correct అవుతుంది. ఈ ప్రాబ్లం కూడా ఉంటుంది. Once it's migrated, I have this problem in my system.
So the data is not recovered.
So they could identify that by quality. In production, they yeah. See, I still have this problem in my 7.4 SP11. I have this problem. If I try to see the master data, now you remember normal screen. When I say master data, I should get an ALU grid screen where I can select, but it is opening up my browser. That is what missing of master data view sometimes. Normally, when I say maintain master data, I need to get an ABAP screen with the like table content screen like stuff, and then I should get a view. That is called a missing view sometimes. Okay? So for that, what you do is you run this program ZR that you get to see that kind of problem when you migrate bus. ZRS DMD underscore check underscore CHA views, master data views, and you can get to details on that node 1892819. So when you say maintain master data, browser so those master data views are missing out. To fix that master data issues, you can fix this and not. Okay. Next, activate all your transformations. As the next step of post upgrade activities or migration activities, you activate all your transformations. RS DZ underscore TRNF underscore active. Now, why do we activate these transformations? And మొత్తం system లో ఉన్న transformations అన్నిటిని activate చేయండి. ఎందుకు చేస్తాం? You remove the checkbox SAP HANA execution. Yeah. Only after system is migrated to HANA, you will have this checkbox, right, in the transformations. But if you select when you activate, when you activate, and if system is able to push those transformations, the checkbox gets enabled. So we don't know which transformation has got flexibility of pushing down. So we start activating all the transformations. What are the transformations it is able to push down? It will start enabling the checkbox. That's where we activate all the transformations by using that program. Okay, was very, very important. The next, converting HANA objects to HANA optimized objects. Nothing but what? You convert cubes into HANA optimized cubes. How do you convert? How do you migrate normal cubes into HANA optimized cubes? RS MIGR HANA DB is a T code, or you can run the program and start what? You specify all the cubes and start migrate. But can I migrate multiple cubes at a time? Yes, arrow mark కొడితే multiple cubes చేయొచ్చు. But only thing is, in the real time, they don't go cube by cube or all cubes at a time. They'll take application by application. They'll take sales. All the cubes relevant to sales will be migrated. Next, మళ్ళీ finance అట్లా ఒక్కొక్క సెట్ తీసుకుని చేస్తారు అన్నమాట. ఓకేనా బస్ ఫైన్. And this very, very important. And the other day in the interview, he was very much happy with this point. Let's say you have existing multi-providers and existing info sets. And by using this program, you can convert those existing multi-provider info sets to what? Composite providers. By using this RSO underscore convert underscore IPRO to HCPROs. After migrating, do we need to reinitialize the data source? See, the task list generally, it is nothing to be running by outside, so it will be, even base person can just create task list and he can execute it. So nothing problem. But these tasks we will basically BW consultant does it. Then once you have it HANA, do we have row store tables and column store tables? Generally, all system tables will be migrated as row store, and standard tables, all other application tables will be column store. But there might be some requirement. Let's say my RS statistics tables, even though they are standard, I want them to be as column store. Then I can use this program RSD underscore move underscore to underscore column, where you can move the row store tables to column store table, so that it improves my performance of reading. Statistics tables are like system tables, but I'm using it for more of reading. So I want to convert them to column store. Then I can use this program. If you have certain row store tables and you want to convert them to column, I can use this program. Okay, and we don't know which. If there might be some tables having some inconsistency, to solve all the inconsistencies on the tables, then we use this program RSD underscore table underscore inconsistency. This is a program to check the inconsistency of all the tables. After migration, do we have to reinitialize the data source if the data source delta mechanism is disturbed? So what we generally, since we are upgrading your BW system, corresponding enhancement patches will be applied in ECC also. When you are upgrading BW, corresponding enhancement patches also will be applied in ECC, which can be disturbing your data source delta mechanism. Then what you do, in that case, you reinitialize your extract. Generally, you will have the problem of timestamp error. You get that problem. If you're able to solve the problem and process the delta, it's fine. If not, you'll have to reinitialize. And this problem you may not be reinitializing for every data source. There might be some data source getting disturbed with certain support pack. For those extractors, you have to reinitialize. Otherwise, it's fine. Yeah. Then apart from all this, do we also carry out a lot of testing aspects? These are the steps what we do, so that once these are done, your system is migrated and all the corrections in the system is done now. Now I need to do the testing part. You can think about it migrating 3.x to 7.x flow, migrating big queries, workbooks, migration, normal migration of 3.x flow to 7 can be done as part of post migration or post upgrade. Next, testing. Now testing is what I already collected the report snapshots as part of pre-upgrade or pre-migration. So as part of post, I'll run the same reports with same selections and check the data, validate my data. If the data is correct, then data is valid, okay, and then I also compare the performance so that I know I collect the present statistics and the old statistics and see what is the time difference. If there is a query which is running for 5 minutes previously, now I see query running in 1 minute. So I see a purely difference in the performance of the queries. And to prove, yeah, you have to prove all those. Yeah. That is part of testing you do, and I think a lot of optimizations you carry out, like say migrating 3.x data flow to 7, migrating your big queries or workbooks from 3. How do you migrate big query to 7? Just you open the big query in 7 query design, then save it, gets migrated. And how to migrate workbook? You open 3.x workbook to 7. And later, from migration cockpit, you have a button which can migrate it automatically. And then convert cubes to unoptimized cubes and remove cubes if it is used as data mart for DSO, if used only for aggregation. I told you, you'll be eliminating cubes at the top if they're used only for aggregation. Then replace cubes with, if you have to use cubes, you can replace info cubes with advanced DSO. You know about advanced DSO like cube? But if it is within one, if there is a cube with 120 characteristics, I can convert it to advanced DSO. But if it's more than 120, I can't handle it because in a cube, all characteristics must be primary key. And what is maximum number of key fields, primary key characteristics you can have in advanced DSO? Only 120. And convert multiple to composite provider, and then push down the transformations only for specific use cases where my transformations are really slow. Once it is migrated HANA, I can start customizing or optimizing those transformations by implementing HANA expert script routine by using ABAP managed database procedures. And we start leveraging BW modeling tools of HANA perspective and query snapshots. If there's some queries which are running slow, I can start using concepts of query snapshot to improve query performances. And once it is done, you need to do certain optimizations of processing, because once it is migrated, you don't have accelerator, no more BW accelerator, no aggregates, nothing. So in the processes, you might have roll up of indexes or roll up of aggregates. All those processes must be removed. Even if you don't remove that, it's fine, because processing will have it, but it does not execute that. Even if it is there, fine, but it's still as part of optimization, you start cleaning your process definition by removing all the unwanted processes like roll-ups, and no more concept of DB statistics, constructing or building indexes, even all these processes can be removed out. And remember, there's no concept of HANA optimized DSO. If you already migrated in 7.3, you have to reconvert them back to what? Standard DSOs. These are the points you can think of. Yeah. And now, do we still use aggregates after migration? No. Even before migration, we will deactivate all the aggregates. When I deactivate aggregates, what happens? Aggregates deactivate with them. Definition to data must delete type. Like this, aggregates are ruled out. And as part of one of the housekeeping activities where you reduce the sizing, deactivating aggregates is also one of the steps. What you can do. Okay, boss. So what? No. Are you going to share this? I'll not share this PPT, but I'll tell you from where did I pick this up. I'll tell you. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So I'm just playing this. Just look at how I was explaining this guy. Yeah, about. He just asked me only one. See, his requirement was he has a project where he wants to migrate from BW 7.0 to 7.4 and migrate HANA. And he was supposed to put me onto the project as a lead. And he was asking me what you will do, how you will do. Getting this? And he said, give me step by step, what will you do? And I had this PowerPoint in front of me, and I was answering. No, we understood what we are doing, but how is it I'm answering that guy? That's exactly what I want to do. Okay. వస్తాను.
హెడ్ఫోన్స్ పెట్టి
ఎవరు పెట్టుకున్నారు?
పిన్ పెట్టింది సార్.
పిన్ పెట్టలేదు.
ఇంటి పక్కన
You are not listening. ఇది తేడా ఉంది బస్. I think should I do something here?
కంట్రోల్
Play. I think it is taking something else. I think.
Yes, sir. I will go to meeting session. Microphones are waiting.
Oh. ఇక్కడ దీంట్లో వస్తాను.
Go to meeting session. తీసుకుంటాను సెషన్ బయటికి రా.
దీనికి వస్తాను.
ఇప్పుడు తీయండి సార్.
No, there's something here. I need to change or something. ఇది పోతే వస్తుందా ఏమన్నా? మైక్ పెడితే మైక్ డిఫాల్ట్ వాల్యూమ్. ఓకే, కరెక్ట్.
Fine, good, thank you.
People from online, can you hear?
Exactly, yeah.
It's coming.
Okay.
You don't have a question, only answer.
Pretty good, basically I work with two different engagements on BW and HANA with mixed approach, where you're using HANA as a native HANA, as well as the HANA was used as a backend database for BW also. I was part of pre-upgrade and pre-migration and post-upgrade, post-migration. I was part of analyzing the ZG BW ABAP analyzer program and migration cockpits analyzing the transformations, what needs to be done, replacing select star with the select column, listing of the columns, eliminating for all entries, and these kind of customizations are done. And as part of upgrade, there are some function modules which are absolute, and we have to replace the new function modules, especially for the file upload programs and some of the custom function modules written for DPS. And pretty strong with the text reporting and even the backend with SAP and the integration of BODs towards BW and the self integration towards BW with the TIMS 2011 SP5. And pretty strong HANA modeling and HANA's database, and also different data provisionings onto it with the SLT, BOD, smart data access also worked on. Yeah, so this is pretty much my strengths on it. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Question is, he is asking me a question, so that's all fine. Let's assume we want to migrate. Now give me step by step, he's asking.
Yeah. So basically, see, there are a couple of things which we would have considered first. There are some considerations which we have to go through. First thing is, what is our present BW version? Let's say if it's 7.x, it will be different. 7.0.
He confirmed me that it is 7.0.
There is DMO option through which we can do upgrade as well as migration and Unicode conversion also together. And one more point to be noted is when you trying to shift towards 7.4 or minimum 7.3, which supports with BW HANA as a backend database, we do not have the Java stack and ABAP stack together. We need to have split up. We need to have the Java stack to be installed in separate application server, then integrated together. It cannot go together. That's the point we have to control that point also. And also one more major point is when you're trying to move to HANA, which is in-memory database, we have to reduce the data. We don't have the freedom of having the huge database size. We need to have it more compressed formats. So then our focus also would be on reducing the size of the present database also. So we would have to concentrate on deleting DSA tables, or unwanted log tables, or RSVD stat tables, all might have to be removed. I'm just going through a rough, then I'll get into details of each of this. So these also have to be configured. Basically, we have reduced the sizing of our database before even you think about migrating, so that you get the exact sizing of your BW HANA database sizing also. Yeah. And also we should focus on installing some of the nodes which is for the ZBW migration cockpit, or let's say ZBW ABAP analyzer or database sizing. There are different set of nodes what SAP has given. For example, if you look at this, we have some node 1729988, which is actually the SAP BW and HANA checklist, which gives you complete pre-migration and post-migration, pre-upgrade and post-upgrade checklist also, which comes from that. And also we have implemented the node 1847431, which is actually for ZBW ABAP analyzer, which helps you to analyze complete ABAP coding of your entire BW system and lets me know which of the statements are not really suitable for running on HANA database. Majorly it focuses on select star and for all entries aspect majorly. And also if you look at SP. So what actual migration would go on for, let's say, around 3, depending on the database size, I would say.
I'm asking about estimate, how many days?
Actual migration. But that actually also involves pre-upgrade, pre-migration, and post-upgrade, post-migration activities also. Generally, I would my estimate of this would be for around 3 weeks to 4 weeks for one system, one landscape. Means like for one development system, for quality and production, I would go with say 3 weeks to 4 weeks approximately. there may be slight difference on code depending on the sizing and some complexity of this application. If there are a lot of inactive objects or a lot of objects, a lot of data volume is there, then it will take long. But generally, it goes with based on my experience, I would say 3 to 4. Yeah, yeah. In the landscape, one system, it will be approximately 3 weeks to 4 weeks. Yeah, that will be time. So let's say my landscape is with standard landscape development, quality, and let's say production. Let's say we would have done a POC also. We would have a copy of the production and then try to do a POC to see really what issues are we getting in. So let's take it as 4 months altogether, including the POC system, which we do it. Then once we have the estimate of 4 weeks, then we get into the details of the resources. I would need approximately 3 BW consultants, and I would need 1 ABAP. Basically, if we have to do something with the absolute function models or to run some debugging kind of stuff on the transformations, I need 1 ABAP. Then we would need dedicated basis consultants who would be basically Linux admin, because the HANA runs on, because we need to have a fresh HANA installation to be done on SUSE Linux and the HANA to be installed. Then we need a normal BW basis consultants who actually has to take care of the upgrade also. And then this will be and the HANA person is expected even to run the DM walks, because he can take care of what exporting the complete DML and importing the same to HANA database. So basically, I would expect a team of around 7 to 8 people, including BW consultants, ABAP consultants, and then I would need a basis consultant. This would be the team which actually can go with the migration branch. So estimate is for around 4 months, and this is 8 to 10 people with the team size. Yeah, because if I purely feel it's on the normal system, not an extreme complex system. But if the system is really complex and the number of objects are really huge, the number of BW concerns would increase, because there will be a lot of testing part going on. Because before going for it, because when you go for preparation of the upgrade or the migration, you have to run a lot of reports and take a snapshot of the reports for different selections and keep it ready. So that once the migration is done, we'll have to do stress testing, we'll have to do data validation testing, so that involves a lot of testing part comes into picture. So if the number of objects are huge, I would focus on increasing the number of BW consultants. But actual migration part is pretty simple. You run the DMO. So irrespective of the data volume or the number of objects, my basis team would be fixed. 3 to 4. But the number, based on the number of objects, I would need to increase my BW team also. And then, because my estimate does not consider the stabilizations of BW after the migration. We only just fine tune about few migrations, but not exactly tuning every data. Once all this is done, then we get into the stabilization part as the next phase of the project. Say migration is done, yeah, and then what are the actual performance issues there? Then we can focus on that particular data flows or that particular object, then focus it more on. So as part of general post-migration, we would focus just on migrating all the cubes and converting info providers to HANA composite providers. And then inconsistency of the pieces will be checked and complete testing of the objects. And these kind of activities will be done. But let's say if you want me to replace an existing transformations with the SQL scripting to improve the performance of the transformations, but that will be different phase. As part of my estimate does not include these customizations or what I do for every object which really use the HANA performance. Exactly. Yeah. 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 Exactly. Yeah, basically my focus would be on, I would take the copy of the production system. Generally, I would take the client copy of the production into a different system.
He raised a question on POC.
So when I got to do that in-place migration, what I would do is I would basically take the production copy. Then once the production copy is done, I would do a lot of data handling activities, like say deleting all the unwanted cases. Okay, and then delete, like because on the copy system we will do that because we want to really estimate the sizing. That's the major important point of it. So I would clean all the PSA tables, I would clean all the log tables, I would clean all the RSD stat tables or change log tables of the DSOs.
So the aggregates
all
will be
unwanted
deactivated.
data has been removed out. Then basically I would run the program /sdf/hana underscore BW underscore sizing by implementing the node 1736976, which actually, exactly, service code they do, but that is what the first step actually.
Then ask me, is it done by basis?
We will do the complete housekeeping activities. Then you get the exact data only the data what is required.
And here you should also raise a point on NLS also.
And also we might have to implement the NLS 1736976. Sizing, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Basically, has to do. Exactly. Yeah. Once all the housekeeping activities is done from my side, I would have this program and I would ask the basis person to start doing sizing. They would actually use this node and they implement the program. When they run, they exactly get the information about what is the sizing of the column store and what is the sizing of the row store they need. Based on that, they get into the sizing of the HANA database. So they have certain formula where they say column store into 2 and they divide by 4. They actually take compression rate towards 4 times of it, and then they come out with sizing. And then they have to basically install the HANA database as it is. They have to get in with SUSE Linux and they have to install the HANA database. Now once the database is up, once the database is installed, now we have BW, let's say with running on MS SQL database, is as it is. And now we have fresh installation of HANA database, that is also considered. Next we actually do all the pre-upgrade activities like checking the inconsistency indexes, or is there any open request in the DSOs, any inactive in objects, inactive DSOs or queues. And also collect the report snapshots of all the text, if not all reports, at least the major report for each functional area, or picking 10 reports for each functional area. Take the snapshot output of all these reports and store them before starting this. And also, if possible, I would also collect the statistics data also of these reports, so that it helps me to conduct performance testing for post migration also. So once I do all this, then they actually get to the actual DMO process. Yeah. No, I'll prefer full copy. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Production copy. Next is asking question on when you take report snapshot, do you take very detailed? If you have 10 company codes, for what selection you will take?
Even after clean and housekeeping activities. And if we are planning to implement NLS Sybase IQ or some with Sybase IQ or something, I would set up the connection towards this. And the data what we want, we can also move it to the NLS so that it will shrink your database size. That will really help you to speed up the migration. That also you can do. And as part of manual activities, I will be doing the housekeeping activities with checklist in STC01 with BW housekeeping and BW before upgrade activities. And we'll also implement node 1829728, which will give the housekeeping activities application. Majorly, I'll go with the node 1734333, which will give you complete HANA migration cockpit. But all the activities coming into ST01 is all can also be called from your BW HANA migration cockpit, because we'll have a free checklist, and from there you can call up, which ultimately gets to that cockpit, which ultimately calls to other T codes, ST01 or others. Yeah, 1734333. Yeah, that will be my pre and post upgrade and migration task. Then BW HANA migration cockpit is a program. Yeah, then we also have some certain checklists which is specific to applications, because for BW specific you might have some specific activities to be performed. And again, I implement the node 1000009 ASU toolbar, and then I need to import that XML file, and which basically creates a task. Hello. Yeah, that actually we'll have something called application specific preparations to be done, application specific upgrade activities. So this node actually gives you an XML file which we have to download from the service marketplace and import. And when you go to this /ASU/start T code, we have to import that XML file, which actually formulates the set of activities to be performed as part of pre and pre-upgrade activities. Now this actually that's my basis, but you said as a team lead, I have to instruct everyone, right? I'll have to go with everyone. So 1000009 application specific upgrade activities. Then and when you even in SAP BW HANA migration, when you check out the readiness of the system for upgrade, it does list you a lot of nodes, and these nodes have to be implemented by the basis there. So because it does give you an error message or all those stuff for you, and those so it checks for the readiness of the system for the migration for HANA. And it does give me list of all, it tells me all the errors and tells me what all nodes have to be implemented. And all those nodes have to be implemented before you start up the upgrade or the migration part. And they also have to do the Unicode preparations in SPMG, because if you want to make it a Unicode compatible system when it goes to 7.4. And the preparation activities also has to be done in SPUMG for Unicode preparations. So and then actually migration part can actually start up, and once you have to take in the report snapshots and housekeeping activities and system readiness for HANA migrations is all being checked. Basically, they have run this. Major thing is the migrate create DDL is the program what they run, which actually exports the complete DDL statement of your database, through which, and this DDL is again runs in HANA and creates exact database what is needed. There are some program called SMIGR_create_DDL is a program. When you run that, it actually creates a DDL statement of the entire database of the existing system. So, let's say you have a table, it exports a create statement on the table. So, all these DDL statements are again exported and rerun onto HANA database, so it creates the same database for it before you start moving out the data. Hello? So, yeah, they do this, and then the actual migration it starts up. Then as part of post, we would have certain activities what we have to do. Again, we have to carry out the testing, and then see the performance testing, and then the data validations to be done. And we check out every object, every cube, every data source. The delta is being disturbed. Again, we had problems with PSS, because what we did is we had to clean up the delta queues, because we were unscheduling the process change. So what we did is we wanted to clean up the delta queue before the migration. So what we did is we run delta load twice and kept the request in PS. Did not load it in next level targets.
I was not so clear. You can be more clear. At early morning,
the new column comes into the PSU table definition, and the PSU tables are disturbed. The requests which are already loaded before migration could not be loaded with next level targets. We had that problem. Yeah, and then we will. So the solution is you either load the data till the target, till the top level and keep. do not stage the data in the PSA, then just leave it. Because what we did is we just run the info package delta load twice and clean the delta and had all the data stayed in the PSA, but did not load to the next level targets. That was our problem. But what I suggest is whatever the data you have, run the process chain so that it takes data to the next all the top level targets and keep it. Don't depend on the data in the PSA to be leveraged after the migration. Yeah. And then we would do after, as per the post, we would basically do, because if you go to STC0 from the migration cockpit, you'll have after upgrade and after migration activities, which they have to carry out. And then we would check the DBA cockpit, that's what our migration, because in the DBA cockpit, you get to see all the connection details of HANA, whether the database connection is fine, or you can also use ADBC underscore connection underscore test to see the primary database connection is fine, and from there you can actually access the administration of HANA database also, and see the engines, how many application services being maintained, is all up or not. All this, you can just do an overall overview check, and then we get into repairing of the PSA tables majorly. We use a program RSD underscore PS underscore part number underscore check for repairing the PSA tables, and then we also have a problem with the master data views, because when you right click on your master and say maintain master data, generally you are supposed to get a selection screen where you basically try to give selections of the master and see that, right? You miss those grids, master data grids, and so that you have to run the program Z RSDMP underscore check underscore CH underscore views, which is with the node 1892819. And again, we have to regenerate all the transformations, RSDG underscore TRNF, because once you migrate it to HANA, we have a checkbox called execute transformations in HANA, in the transformations. If you have a direct mappings, which does not involve ABAP, and those kind of transformations can be pushed deep into HANA database. So what we do is we use a program RSDG underscore TRNF underscore activate to reactivate all the transformations. When you do this, what happens? Whichever the transformations which does not involve a lot of ABAP into it can be pushed, the logic of it can be pushed into deep into HANA database. So there are standard stored procedures which are written which can execute the standard functionalities of the transformation. But if it involves ABAP, that doesn't go in. So we would basically suggest the customer after the next phase of it. Any transformation which is really causing a problem, we will start handling it as a separate case where we would have to re-implement the complete expert routine or start routine or end routine with the complete sequence. That's what we have to go. Then we also use a program of converting all the multi-products towards composite products. RS1 underscore convert underscore IPRO to HCR. Yeah. Yeah. Then also we go with the thank you. And there are also certain programs that say you might be, sometimes after migration you have a lot of dumps going in. And if you find there are some tables being really huge and it is trying to, you get an error saying column store error on the table or row store. So in that case, if there are some row store tables which are really huge and you want to really improvise the performance on it to convert to column store, you can also use a program RSD underscore move underscore 2 underscore column. This is the node 204447 node, where you can also consider some of the tables of row store to be moved towards a column store also. And also, if there's any table inconsistencies, we check with RSD underscore table underscore consistency check. We go through that. And then it will measure on the post testing activities, data validation activities, testing of each data source, and just run the process chains and see whether the delta loads are able to be continued after the migration or any specific problems, the version compatibility with the extractors or not, or any node to be implemented for the specific extractors. These kind of activities will be going into. But as part of HANA optimizations, which is not part of this, we would focus on if there are any 3.x data flows, or prefer upgrading it now. Migrating it to 7. And migrating text queries and workbooks also from 3.7 I would focus on. and converting your cubes to HANA optimized cubes. Yeah. RS MIGR HANA DB. I would convert the cubes HANA migration, that's a great command. Then if aggregates will be removed out completely. And suppose if I have a cubes on top of DSOs, which are just used for aggregating the data. Let's say generally what we do is we'll have a DSO staging here with detail one and the cube at top with four aggregated. In that case, I can eliminate the cubes and start using those DSOs into the replace those objects into DSOs into multi-cloud so that reporting is done on DSOs. We are eliminating the next level layers also. Because now it is LSA plus, we simplify the layers. Exactly. That will save a lot of space. See, generally what happens when they use LSA, a lot of architects, they've been implementing BW like staging DSO, then we have one more DSO, then we have other DSO. For every transformation, they wanted to have a staging with the DSOs. They had that luxury when it was non-HANA database. But when it comes to HANA database, I don't think this should be the architecture because the LSA comes in which is simplified. Even if you want to have multiple level of transformations, you have to go with multi-level info source, but do not have staging. Try to make it very simple. You have extractors, corporate memory, and then let's say you have your providers. And straight away, if you want to have multiple level complex transformations, include multiple level of info source, have the staging at DSO, and then start doing reporting. And you can start combining both HANA modeling as well as BW modeling together, consuming DSO as an analytical view and then importing into calculation user. You can do depending on the scenario by scenario. And then I would prefer utilizing, if we go with advanced DSOs, and wherever it is cubes, I can go with advanced DSOs required for additive nature. For overwriting, I can go with classic DSO. And wherever it's possible, I push down the transformation logic to TP to HANA by implementing scripting expert, SQL script expert, and pretty much strong in writing SQL script also. And we can start using Eclipse tool with BW modeling tools and start working on even for some cases of fixed query. We can use query snapshot to improve query performances. And then respect to optimizations might have to be carried out in the project, but that is not really critical, but okay, like removing of roll-ups and building or delete indexes can be removed or DB statistics are no more required. And also one more thing, suppose if you have BW accelerator that will be out after the migration. So there might be some cubes which have been where the data staging is with BW accelerator. And all those kind of queues will become inactive after the migration. So we have to activate this queues as a normal standard queue and reload the data back from the underlying DSO to those queues. So all the queues where the data staging is with BW accelerator will be deactivated. So those queues have to be activated back again, and we have reload all the data back from the underlying DSO into the queue set. Yeah, because if you look at the info queue, we can have something like staging in database. So all the info queues where the data is being stored in BW accelerator will be inactive after the migration because there is no more BW accelerator once HANA comes in. So for all these queues, we have to reactivate those queues again as a correction request, and then reload the data into these queues because the data is lost into those queues. So we need to reload back from the underlying DSO to these queues. And no more HANA optimized DSO. Use classical DSO. That's no more. It supports HANA in-memory DSO. No more. Yeah, info sets also can be converted as a.
So can I convert existing info set to composite board and same program can be used? I said.
The program what I gave you on conversion, the same thing can be used to convert even info sets also. Or as we convert IPR over to. Yeah. 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 Yeah, that's what we've done is before migration, we have actually had the snapshot of all the reports of different selections. Right? Then after the migration, we would start.
Questioning was on the testing.
Same report with same selections and get the data out. Per model, yeah. exactly. What are the selections? You have already run the report. You should have the selections and the data kept in ready, right? That's, yeah, yeah. No. I will not take 10 company codes. I'll just say there is for one report. I'll obviously take one snapshot. Say company code one. I'll take it at the aggregated level. You start doing very detailed level. I'll take it like say you said company code, right? If I have 10, I'll try to have a report snapshot with 10 company codes in rows and with all the KPIs. So if it is okay at company code level, I think pretty much data should be fine if there are any filter. Yeah, together. Because in previously I worked with BW HANA migration and I working as BW on HANA as well as HANA is being leveraged as enterprise and also together. It's a mixed approach for exactly. I'm a contractor and I'm being outsourced by a company advanced. Great. I'm done with Greater in November and I had my vacation in December and looking for a new assignment. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. BTech.
And I think that is all personal. So we'll stop it here, and tomorrow we'll look at NLS. I think my connection is not fine.
సరే ఈరోజు ఇది అబ్సల్యూట్ ఫంక్షన్ మోడల్స్ అంటున్నారు కదా,
Uh,
అది మళ్ళీ వెబ్లో అయితే మనం SPAU SPDD యూస్ చేస్తాం. ఇక్కడ కూడా అదేనా టూల్స్?
అబ్సల్యూట్ ఏం కనుక్కునేక అట్లా కదా ఏం చేస్తారంటే కొన్ని ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ ఉంటాయి. నార్మల్ వి రైట్ సమ్ కస్టమ్ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ అప్లోడ్ ఫైల్ అంటాం, F4 అప్లోడ్ అని యూ గెట్ బ్రౌజర్ అట్లాంటి ఫైల్ అట్లాంటి ఫంక్షన్ అబ్సల్యూట్ అయితే మనం దే గివ్ సమ్ లిస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ విచ్ దే ఆర్ యూజింగ్ ఫర్ BW. So when we run those programs, it fails. And when you try to run those programs, you get an error. Then when we check the error dump, it says this function model is no more on. That is the testing we do. Okay. I'll tell you. PPT ఒకసారి NLS ఉందా చూస్తాను. If this NLS connection is fine, then we can work on. We can see that topic. The Sybase IQ is like temporary one. It's only 30 days validity. Again, I need to install. Tomorrow I set that. So tomorrow we'll see NLS, and one is on transporting HANA objects along with BW transport. So I've got BW or HANA. I want to collect HANA models into delivery unit, and I want to collect the delivery unit into BWTR. And how do we do that? That's two things. And what is it you asked me? This document. Yeah, see if you go to Google, for more detailed documentation, SAP BW HANA migration, first guidance, you say. If you say SAP BW HANA migration first guidance, and if you get into this, and if you say view document, you say SAP. Okay, problem not, but actually it should open up this document or PDF code. You'll have that. Is the problem. It will open either down, but it opens up. First guidance is the one what you refer to. Okay, boss. And tomorrow we'll see NLS and transport. So pretty much we should be done by tomorrow, or if not, there'll be some open topics on Tuesday. By Wednesday, I'll discuss more on interview point of view. Still, what you like, if you deal with HANA with database, what kind of questioning you get, modeling, what kind of questioning you get. So, on a separate time, how do you call the scripting with ABAP? Not focus more. Good, good. We have something HANA native development, which I don't know touch because it is already there in Open SAP. What I do, we have taught HANA development at one stage, 3 hours video. I have this video, I'll just give you that video, just go through because there is no requirements on that particular topic. I'm only confusing you people, nothing there. It's all programming on JavaScripting, HTML. I only confuse you, nothing. I'm not giving you anything. So it's waste of time. So I'll give the 3 hours video on it, what I've taught for previous batch. Just use that video. That should be more than enough. Don't worry much. It's the same as what they taught in Open SAP, creating OData service or SAP UI5, creating application site, all this. I've done from basic. I've just took some database. I took some simple application. Just go through. That should be more than enough. Not waste time. So tomorrow we'll finish the pending topics, NLS and that stuff, and we'll try to if we finish all topics tomorrow, we'll spend one day on discussing interview point of view, then we can close it. Okay. Well, thanks. I'll send these videos today. How many videos you got? Till 20? Set together. Which day is reporting? That's what I forgot about reporting. So tomorrow we'll deal with NLS in this, and Tuesday we'll deal with reporting, and Wednesday we'll have a wrap-up session. Okay, fine. Did not get videos. I don't get modeling videos. You just contact Pawan or Vinod. They'll give you all those videos. No, you got till 29th, like 31. You don't. I'll send those remaining videos to you. Okay, fine. Thanks. SPO, why was LSA? LSA 5 minutes topic. I'll touch more. SPO, it's all